Hey guys, this is 236 Ruben here, and today I will be ranking my favorite historical settings in Assassin's Creed. This list will be ranked based on how much the historical settings managed to immerse me in the world, as well as how much it managed to make me feel invested to explore more throughout the specific worlds. Keep in mind, this is just my opinion, so feel free to voice your opinions in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. At the bottom of my list, we have Colonial America from Assassin's Creed 3. The colors and the overall tone of this world were just designed in a very boring and dull tone, which brought down the overall experience for me. Thankfully, the remastered version improved on this slightly, but it still was not enough to save it for me, as it still had a bit of its dull looks. A lot of the buildings also look very copy-pasted, which just made me feel very uninterested in exploring the world of Assassin's Creed 3, which is quite sad in my opinion. I was hoping the world to be much better. I had the least fun exploring this historical setting, which is why it is at the bottom of my list. In the next place, we have the setting from Assassin's Creed Rogue. This setting suffers from the same problems as Assassin's Creed 3 setting, but it is not as bad. The North Atlantic was fun to explore and it was designed very well, which made it a joy to explore the area. It also borrowed a lot of things from Assassin's Creed 4's open world, which also made it better than Assassin's Creed 3's open world. River Valley was also not too bad, however New York was the part which brought down the entire setting of this game for me. The colors and the design of that specific area was boring and dull, just like in AC3, which made it not really a fun place to explore. Despite its problems, I still had an interesting time exploring the setting of AC Rogue, but its problems keep it lower on my list. Next on the list, we have Ancient Greece from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Despite my problems with the game, I can't deny how beautiful Ancient Greece looks. I swear I can open the photo mode at almost any time and it looks very gorgeous. The color is managed well and some landmarks are very well constructed. However, the world was a bit too big, which resulted in a lot of copy-pasted locations, which broke my immersion quite a bit. The NPCs also felt a bit dead when compared to the other AC games, which is sad as it brought down the experience quite a bit. However, Ancient Greece still looks beautiful, but there are other settings in the franchise which were executed much better in my opinion, which is why Ancient Greece from Assassin's Creed Odyssey isn't higher up on my list. Next, we have Victorian London from AC Syndicate. Victorian London was designed beautifully, and even though it was one of the weaker Assassin's Creed games, I still think the world does a good job with getting you immersed with it. From the bustling streets and the many nodes scattered around London, which gives you more context to the world, along with the database, which helps a lot as well, just like in the other games. The only reason it's not higher up on my list is because I feel the other settings look more beautiful and were crafted better. However, this was still a well executed setting which I'll never forget. Next on the list, we have Constantinople from Assassin's Creed Revelations. Constantinople was a very beautiful setting that I really enjoyed. It had an immersive world with lots to do, plus it really felt alive, which immersed me quite a bit. However, I did not enjoy it as much as some of the other settings on the list, as I found the other settings to be much more interesting, colorful and vibrant. And yeah, that's why it's just not high on my list, but I still can't take away from the fact that this was a very good setting which was done well and executed well. Next on the list, we have the West Indies from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I love this setting due to the amount of freedom we had at the open sea and how beautiful the Caribbean Sea was. The cities like Havana and Kingston were very well designed as well, which helped add to the overall experience. The cities were well populated with tons of NPCs doing their own thing, which helped make the world feel even more alive. On top of that, it has very ambient music which really fits the overall setting of this world. Overall, it was a very good setting with an amazing open world to explore, which was helped by the amount of beauty it had in the world, which is why it's quite high on my list. Okay, next setting we have is the Third Crusade from Assassin's Creed 1. This is a setting that I will never forget. Whenever I go back to play it, I just am filled with tons of nostalgia from the first time I played Assassin's Creed 1. The atmosphere was so good with the really good music that really fit the tone of Assassin's Creed 1 and its world, which really immersed the player in the world and made you feel like you were actually an assassin back in the Third Crusade. And it was something a lot of the other settings didn't really manage to do as well, which is why Assassin's Creed 1 is quite high on my list. The music, the atmosphere, how they use different color palettes to distinguish the cities from each other, that's something I really appreciate. And it wasn't copy pasted like some of the other settings, which is something I also appreciate. Overall, it's a very good setting and why it's quite higher on my list. Alright guys, next on my list is Rome from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This was a setting that I will also never forget. It was very amazing actually. Rome was so beautiful, it was so nice visiting the Colosseum and the Pantheon and many other distinguished places which you could tell apart from each other, which I really appreciate. There was very little copy pasting in this world, which made the world feel very diverse and it helped you immerse yourself in the world, as it really felt like something you could get lost in due to how diverse it was. And with the amount of NPCs doing their own thing as well, made it feel even more alive. How beautiful Rome was and how much it borrowed from Renaissance Italy. Yeah, overall was just a very good time and I just really like this setting. And of course Ezio was there, which made it even better. So yeah, Rome is one of my favorite settings, and I hope in the future we get to go to ancient Rome and we could see the Colosseum at its full might. So yeah, this is why Rome is quite high on my list. Alright guys, we're reaching the top 3 spot. Yeah, this is my 3 favorite settings from Assassin's Creed in terms of historical terms. So yeah, at number 3 we have Paris from Assassin's Creed Unity. This was really so amazing and I was really blown away the first time I booted up Unity and saw the beauty of Paris. It made me very invested in the world just of how well constructed it was in terms of its buildings, the amount of NPCs they had, how diverse they were, yeah, and how diverse the buildings were. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful open world which I never saw before, especially since it was a new next-gen game. And I was just very blown away at that time. Even when I go back now, I still get slightly impressed. It's really an amazing achievement, and it's one of the best open worlds I've ever had the pleasure of exploring. And I will never forget Paris due to how well constructed it was, basically, yeah. And I really explored the database so often in this because I was just so interested in Paris due to how well constructed the world is. And I can't wait to play more games like this in the future, and I hope Assassin's Creed continues to make very good open worlds and very beautiful ones like Assassin's Creed Unity. Alright guys, in second place we have Renaissance Italy from Assassin's Creed 2, another amazing setting. The world was just so alive in this one and it just looks so beautiful, and I will just never forget this one, and I always feel nostalgia whenever I go back and play Assassin's Creed 2. I just love how colorful the world looks, you know, how the different districts look very different from each other, how the different cities also look very different from each other. The world just felt so alive due to the amount of variety in it. Yeah, and this depiction of history also was just so interesting. I was always reading the database so often. Yeah, it was just such a good time to explore Renaissance Italy, and I'm sure many of you think this way as well. It was a really well done setting, and I can't wait to have more settings like this in Assassin's Creed again. And this is why Assassin's Creed 2's setting is so high up on my list. And in first place we have Ancient Egypt from Assassin's Creed Origins. This is my favorite historical setting in any Assassin's Creed game ever. What I enjoyed the most about the historical setting was how we were able to explore so many tombs of the ancient pharaohs and learn more about the old kingdom, and it was just so interesting to see how they taught us about history in this kind of way, and it was just so interesting. Yeah, I just love history so much, and I love it when it's presented in this fashion, and I was always very interested in ancient Egypt since I was a young boy. So yeah, it's just such a nice thing to explore, and I'm so happy that AC Origins exists, and I can't wait to play it again. The cities were also very populated with NPCs doing their own things, even better than the previous games. This was really the peak of immersion in Assassin's Creed. I think the only thing missing was basically all the social style and the interactions with them. Yeah, if they put it in there, it really would be so perfect. But at least AC Valhalla is introducing this back to us. So yeah, back to the topic at hand. It was just such a good setting, and I can't wait to have more settings like this in the future. And this is why ancient Egypt is so high on my list, because it's just done so well. Yeah. So yeah guys, that's about it for this video. Those were my favorite settings from Assassin's Creed. Keep in mind, this was really opinion based topic, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. I would want to know what your favorite settings are, and I really had a lot of fun making this video, and I hope I can do more like this in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for my new video coming out next week, probably around next week, which will be me ranking the PS4 exclusives, the top 5 to be precise. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section like I said just now. And with that being said, this has been 236 Ruben signing out.